Hello friends, today we will talk about a very interesting product. This product has its own history, a whole 15-year history. During this period, he acquired many satisfied and grateful customers. For many people, this has become a product that they always carry with them at home, at work, and when traveling, a product that is useful in many aspects of life. What's interesting is that many people have had very good results in various areas of health. Now that we have received its new incarnation, or rather, in an even richer form, which we have been waiting for a long time and which is a cause for great excitement. Let's try to understand why this product gained such popularity, why it had and continues to have such good results, and what we should expect in the form of a more enriched formula. The product name is BAO Plus. The name itself indicates that it is based on the fruit of the Baobab tree. The Baobab tree is a unique phenomenon with many characteristics, many of which have names. I would single it out as the tree of life. It lives for a very long time. It has a lifespan of 10 years. It is very durable in terms of poor living conditions. It can withstand drought and so on. It has special fruits and is used in many ways. It grows incredibly large, so large that its hollow and diameter sometimes reach 8 to 11 meters. It is not described as a bar, restaurant, hotel, bus stop. This tree occupies such a large place. It took 30 years, my friends, to study this tree scientifically, and when it was finished, the process was crowned by the fact that it was called the new king of fruits, because its composition is very rich. It is easy to collect this information, and you will see that, let's say, it has several times more calcium than milk, several times more iron than an apple, and so on and so on. In general, almost 50% of it is fiber. This is a very great wealth. But the king of fruits, which was previously called acai, was called the king of fruits even more because its so-called antioxidant capabilities are not only several times, but far superior to the most powerful antioxidant plants such as goji berries, blueberries, and so on. For example, at the level of numbers, let's say they are 165, 125, 105. At this level, the so-called oracle coefficient is 1,400 for Baobab. That's why this moment called antioxidant protection is one of the most important, and let us start by describing this product and gradually following its composition, right? Because this product does not only contain Baobab fruit, it also has a very interesting formula, a very balanced formula that has become even more perfect. Now you know, let's follow the functions, the positive moments, and then we'll touch on the composition. Antioxidant protection is a necessary thing for the body when it comes to protecting our cells and tissues from such aggressive molecules of harmful effects. And on the whole, it is based on how much health is maintained, how protected we are from this or that disease, how much the aging process is accelerated or slowed down, how we maintain this or that function, and so on. As I told you, Baobab is a very powerful antioxidant, but there are also two very important ingredients in this product, the stem and the acerola stem. The stem has a very wide range of health-promoting effects and its rich composition. Acerola is the richest plant in both natural and vitamin C. Accordingly, this combination of baobab fruit and acerola creates an amazingly powerful antioxidant force that protects the body, its cells, and its tissues from harmful effects, and allows our body to function healthily and our functions to be at the proper level. In addition to this protection, friends, it is necessary to provide the body with the necessary ingredients, vitamins, microelements, macroelements, amino acids, and so on, which are necessary for its normal functioning. In this regard, BAO Plus is also very rich, and it can be said that our body is provided with many ingredients. In terms of fiber, it is very large. These are the 5 types of fibers, my friends. This is a separate topic, but we will touch on it briefly. These natural fibers are extremely essential for the body. There are both water-soluble and insoluble natural fibers. The baobab has a separate fiber. We also have inulin from kacharchi, and inulin is also such a fiber. Fructooligosaccharides are separate, and fibers from apples and citrus fruits in the form of pectins, and so on. Ultimately, the product is very rich in this regard. As I told you, the baobab fruit itself consists of 50% fiber, and 3/4 of it, 75%, is water-soluble fiber, and the rest is insoluble. This is very useful. I will come back to this, but before that, I will say that the same baobab is very rich in calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, and when the body is provided with these ingredients, I will not touch on one thing. For example, energy. Energy that is necessary is antioxidant protection, but functions must be performed. A cell must function, a tissue, an organ, an entire system, not the entire organism. And this is in all systems. You want to take it with your heart, you want to eat it, and so on. And in our cells there are these mitochondria, our power plants, generators that generate energy, and it is precisely calcium that ensures that this energy is well generated. But you know what it is, friends? The formula is so well designed, and scientists note this, that the formula here is so beautifully designed that there is no high dosage of, say, calcium, potassium, and magnesium, but it is in a natural form. Natural ingredients work much more effectively and are balanced, doing their job very well. And that's what nutrition is all about, so that the body is not only protected, but also provided with the necessary substances. In this regard, the formula of this product is very well supplied, and this even allows our various systems to work energetically. Now we come to a very, very important issue, and we need to talk about fibers again. As time goes by, more and more scientific evidence is emerging that the beneficial flora or beneficial bacteria in our intestines play an extremely important role. By the way, their number is not so great. The number is so great that they exceed the human cells themselves. The number of these bacteria and the number of genes also exceed the number of genes in our cells. That is, scientists are even asking the question, who is the host in such a case? There is more and more evidence that the so-called microbiome, which is in our intestines, participates in a huge number of processes. This will be the production of various substances, the work of various systems, and so on. Let's first touch on the simpler moments. When this bacterial flora of ours is regulated, a balance is also needed there. You know, there are beneficial bacteria and there are potentially harmful ones. If there is the right proportion between them, everything is fine, but poor nutrition and an unhealthy lifestyle sometimes disrupt these proportions, and then an imbalance begins. For example, we have bacteria, Bacteroidetes, firmicutes, and it is necessary to maintain a balance between them. When this balance is disrupted, there is a very high risk of developing various diseases, such as obesity, diabetes, various neurological diseases, immune system disorders, and so on. Ultimately, what is this extremely important and separate moment of conversation? How should we eat? What kind of daily life should we have in the form of a healthy lifestyle? And this product helps friends to regulate their bacterial flora. First of all, this is manifested by the regular functioning of the gastrointestinal tract, the regular functioning of the intestines. We know that constipation is when a person passes stool once every 3 days, sometimes and more rarely, and in popular terms, the functioning of the intestines is rare, which often changes with diarrhea, stomach upset, and not only that, but also irritable bowel syndrome, and so on. As soon as a person starts using this product, many users note that their bowel movements have become regular, and they are very grateful. In addition, metabolism is corrected, which is also of great importance for the functioning of the body. But when we talk about deeper moments, look, scientists have already established that there are whole connections, for example, between the intestines and the brain. With the bacteria in the intestines themselves, it is actually called the second brain, and as we're already talking about the bridge between the gut microbiome and the brain. Just as the brain affects the gastrointestinal tract, the gastrointestinal tract affects the brain, and therefore very often during neuroses and various other disorders. The gastrointestinal tract is disrupted, and vice versa. Gastrointestinal dysfunction causes nervous, or rather, such moments. And when various deviations from the health of the nervous system occur, this is called a bridge, right? But the interesting thing is that this moment does not end with the brain alone. Scientists are already studying whether there are such bridges: the microbiome of the gut, the heart, the microbiome of the gut, the respiratory system, the microbiome of the gut, the kidneys, the microbiome of the gut, the skin, the microbiome of the gut, the liver, and there are many moments that have already been proven. For example, when there is an imbalance in our gastrointestinal tract, how does this contribute to the development of atherosclerosis, which then leads to complications, heart attacks, strokes, and so on? How do various diseases develop in the digestive system, including bronchial asthma? Now, when you read about such things, you are no longer surprised when, years ago, you had many cases where people were satisfied that their bronchial asthma was much milder when they consumed this product. The same can be said about the skin, how it is cleansed, and so on. This is of great importance. For example, when there is such a cold inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract due to this imbalance, it can cause depression, and there is evidence to the contrary that depression can cause inflammation in the body. And in general, if we go back to the relationship between the brain and the gut, it has been proven that the same autoimmune spectrum, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's disease, and the same depressions are often accompanied by a poor state of the gut, that is, the bacteria. Therefore, this is of great importance, and as we can see, this product is very effective in helping to correct this bacterial balance. In many ways, we can say that the entire organism and its various systems will be in a better condition. This cute jar is the BAO Plus we've been waiting for a long time, and here it is. It comes with a spoon. 1 spoon a day is quite enough for preventive use. In addition, my friends, there are other functions here. Do you know what kind of substance pectin is? There is pectin from both apples and citrus fruits, and there is even konjac glucomannan. These 2 or 3 ingredients, or 5 in total, if we take a handful, there are 5 types of fiber from different sources. Among them, in this particular case, if we take glucomannan and pectin, they can remove harmful substances from the body, and this product is a very good detoxifier. Detoxification occurs in the body, which is very important, especially in today's environmental conditions, when we literally ingest harmful substances through drugs, air, food, and often even drink and stress. Not only do we take in harmful substances from the outside, but many of these diseases also arise from internal imbalances in the intestines. That is why the detoxifying function of this product is very important. And by the way, we have also experienced that even in acute poisoning, a person feels much lighter, not only in chronic poisoning. Another very good point is liver protection. Here konjac glucomannan does not swell when it comes into contact with water, dramatically increasing in volume and causing the stomach to feel full. This is one moment. The second point is that the body receives essential substances that it may be lacking. Another point is that the balance of intestinal bacteria is gradually being restored. Gradually, metabolism improves. All of this results in a person's appetite improving, freeing them from such a lack of direction, right? This is an excessively increased appetite and a better metabolism that allows weight to be corrected. Naturally, this product alone will not be enough if we do not follow it. That is, we do not follow the necessary moments of a healthy life. What I want to say is, look at the end. If a person thinks they are sick, we definitely recommend that they go to the doctor and follow all the instructions that the doctor prescribes. This is not a cure. This is a good health remedy that has already shown its results for 15 years. And if a person wants to live a long and healthy life, it is necessary to use such remedies. And one of the first, of course, according to our advice, this should be it. But what distinguishes the new version from the formula that has gained such a name? One is that another fiber has been added. This is acacia bark. You know, when these prebiotics enter the intestines, this is called prebiotics. This is how the balance of our intestines is regulated. Prebiotics, or food, are all the things we talked about in fiber. Inulin, fructooligosaccharides, pectins, and so on. They are also food for our intestinal bacteria. This can cause bloating and so on. With the addition of acacia, this process is more it's nice to take prebiotics, because getting so much fiber makes it more comfortable for the body and is also richer in fiber. These two moments are coming to an end, and that's very good. Just like the same vitamin that is included in acerola, vitamin C, and vitamin B2, it also regulates these processes, which are called mineral metabolism, and the metabolism of these minerals, this combination of Baobab, acerola, and strontium allows this to be balanced, and the functioning of natural vitamins and microelements to be exactly as it really is. That is, the body, which is built like a clock, needs. And the second very important supplement is that now we already have not only prebiotics in this product, but we already have probiotics. But in probiotics are considered live beneficial bacteria. So to put it very simply, this has its positive moments, if we take it in general, and there are also its question marks, because first of all, to preserve these living organisms in a product, it needs its own regime, including temperature and so on. Secondly, there are question marks about whether it might bring some kind of resistance to some antibiotics with memory, and so on. There may also be incompatibility. That's why science has advanced in this regard, and we already have a new generation of probiotics, and we are happy to tell you that this product contains exactly such probiotics. These are stabilized probiotics. In other words, thinly titalized probiotics, which have other names, are already, as you know, processed through temperature, former live probiotics, which bring the same benefits that probiotics are supposed to bring, but they don't have the question marks that are associated with what are called live probiotics. So now we already have both powerful prebiotics in this formula and stabilized probiotics, which should dramatically accelerate the results that this formula previously brought in terms of restoring intestinal regulation. Therefore, when it comes to healthy eating, that we should have a lot of fiber in our daily diet, that we should eat a lot of vegetables, herbs, fruits, and various products that contain a lot of fiber. No. The help of this product further improves this, and there are also mechanisms that dramatically contribute to improving our health. So that glucose is absorbed more slowly in our daily diet. The same cholesterol level should not be high, lipid metabolism should be balanced, and all balances should be restored. That's why you see how there is such a process here, restoring balance, harmony from the inside and outside, and balance, restoring harmony from the inside out, when health. Energy, and we have a healthy body with healthy various systems. And we are very happy that we have such a product on the market, and we are happy that many people will receive so much good from it.